Hi Aquarius, welcome to your general Tarotscope for the rest of November. It's Raina here, and yeah, so anyhow, I'm just shuffling the cards, seeing what happens. So, what can I tell you? Oh, before I lay out the cards, I just wanted to tell you about a few transits that are occurring in the month of, well, the last half of November, shall I say. One of them is that Neptune is turning direct in the sign of Pisces. For Aquarians, this is your second house of earned income. So from around 2011, and I should have checked this before I started recording because I keep saying, yeah, I think Neptune entered, it might be 2012 actually, but Neptune entered its own sign. That's a sign that it rules. And in one of those years, 2011, 2012, and that is your second house of earned income. So Neptune adds a very murky, in its most challenging sense, vibe to whatever house it enters. And so for you, that's in the area of your personal finances that you are earning. I would, since I'm a positive Sagittarian, I would say Neptune can create a sense of idealism, a sense of maybe even being able to visualize and manifest certain things that you want from the money that you earn. Okay, so it might add a mystical kind of flavor to the way that you earn money. So for some people, Aquarians, you may, I feel that in this, well, I should say this transit's going to keep going until 2025. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But some of you may begin to understand this idea of the law of attraction and the flow, that I call it the flow, where even if you're not trying to earn money, you can have everything that you need, at the very least, by trusting that that the universe will provide for you. Okay? And I think this would be the very best thing that you can master during this time. Some people, not talking about Aquarians, but just in general, they get very scared about the uncertainty of their earning situation. So they're always trying to earn money, but they're coming from a place of fear. And they don't really seem to believe in this idea of a divine flow. And I really do. And I encourage you. And I actually did long before I realized I did. And I'm not even talking about believing that you can be a millionaire, or if you want to be a billionaire or whatever. I'm talking about just on the most basic level of believing that the universe has your back, and that at any time, even if you think, it's the 11th hour and you need to pay the rent, that you will be able to do so. So just want to tell you about that. Now, in terms of how this is all affecting you, I feel that maybe some of you in recent months may have kind of doubted that. I think in this particular place that the two, now this could be something else totally. It could have been that maybe you were involved in some kind of a less than straightforward business arrangement, or kind of a job, and you found out that it really was smoke and mirrors. Maybe you didn't even get paid, for some of the work that you did. Because when people have natal Neptune in the second house, they can sometimes be very impractical when it comes to handling money, and they can be very bad at it. And and they could be very smart people, but they always get suckered, but this is a transit. So I would say, so that means it's going away at some point. So when it's in the second house, you have to be careful about get-rich-quick schemes. And maybe there might have been some of you that you found out about something when Neptune goes retrograde. It tends to kind of reveal these scams, these illusions. And now it's going direct again. But when it goes direct, it just gives you more idealism as well. So that can be very good. And speaking of idealism, you're also going to have the sun going into Sagittarius on the 21st, and there's going to be a new moon in Sagittarius on the 29th. For you, this is your 11th house of hopes and wishes. And actually, the 11th house is your natural house. So your aspirations, you know, like your goals, your friendships, your group associations, you're going to have new developments. And you're also going to have a sense of positivity, you know, optimism about making things happen, making your dreams come true, and maybe even a way to do so with that new moon. Oh my God, I was shuffling and I just keep drawing this card. There's just no getting around it. I should just pick it, you know. And I even got that card as well, the Four of Swords. So, in my last reading, so. But people say, well, you didn't shuffle the cards. Yes, I did. And sometimes I totally have it in different places and I still get it. And even this card, I got in one of the last readings. Okay, this is the overall focus or theme. Six of Cups, idealism, or it's actually nostalgia, and that is idealistic because this has to do with childhood, and it could be a soulmate situation. But I was talking to Pisces about this just now. So also simplicity, not having a complicated life. And when I picked this card for another sign, I can't remember which one, I said, you know, there's I'm, you know, obsessed with the tiny home movement. I just love those. And even when I was a kid, I would look at campers and it just like fascinated me about living in a tiny space. So this is not because I'm jumping on a bandwagon, but the tiny home movement started out as a way to, you know, escape mortgages and pare down your life to essentials so that you're not possessed by your possessions. You're not working to, you know, so you can maintain a false lifestyle. Now, you know, as it became more popular, obviously, you know, then the prices rise and it becomes, you know, to the point where some people feel like they can't do it after all. But, you know, when you have these transits in your 11th house, part of the 11th house is about your dreams. And so never kind of try to censor your dreams. If, you know, those people that say, oh, I can't afford this or that, I think you need to change the narrative and not speak those words of lack. For somebody who has the Six of Cups here, you know, what is important to you? This is a card of soulmates. It's a card of simplicity, not having a front, not having any kind of you know, preconceptions, being that innocence that childhood brings. Also your dreams that you've had since you were a child, fulfilling those dreams. That's the 11th house as well. You know, your long-held dreams coming true. In the past position, we get the Four of Swords. So if this is a love situation, you may have been alone for a while. You may have been kind of recovering from maybe a relationship that, took a lot out of you. And maybe you're like back in that love phase with somebody. If we talk about signs, it could be that you were with a fellow air sign. So that would be a Gemini, Libra, or another Aquarius. And now you're with a water sign individual. A water sign individual doesn't have to be a sun there. You can, I was just thinking about my partner who is, we're both Sagittarians, but he has a lot of water. And so he's a very emotional person. I consider myself emotional, but I don't have any water in any of my personal points, and he does. And so he's, he's very, very, he feels things very deeply, and he expresses himself. And I'm the one who's a little bit dry sometimes. And I'm the one who's always trying to keep things rational. And so you are like me in a lot of ways. A lot of you. I do get Aquarians who say, oh no, I'm very emotional and blah, blah, blah. And I consider myself emotional, but I don't know. I just think that, observing my particular partner and how he is and comparing it to me, I think I'm a little bit more detached a lot of times. And so you may have found, if you were with an air sign person, that you weren't getting that, I was going to say that juiciness, that water element, that there was too much mental stuff happening. And you get too much mental and you become mental, and I'm half joking, but I'm half serious because oh no, I'm going to get in trouble. I have seen, I sometimes with air signs, I think that there's a lot of wackadoodle stuff happening, because and I'm not talking about any of you that are watching, but maybe you might agree. If you agree with me, right below. If you am mad at me, please, keep it to yourself, because no, I'm just kidding. You can say whatever you want. But I just find that some air signs they can think too much, and it can cause them to be a little goofy. Maybe we can say it's the Geminis. We can blame it on Geminis and Librans and leave Aquarians out of this. I don't know. But anyway, so some of you may have wanted that more emotional kind of a thing happening. And so now you're with a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or they have a lot of that in their chart. And it may be more of an affair, okay? Because this card is like coming in. This is kind of like the energy surrounding you. This is the Knight of Wands. Now, this could be another person on the scene. This would be kind of, this is actually associated with Sagittarius. But I feel, I always think of Aries myself. But Leo's the other fire sign. Definitely a fire sign. But it could be just describing the nature of this relationship. So it could be that you're having some sort of relationship, but maybe it is more of a passionate affair. And I feel like if that's the case, you may have been kind of keeping to yourself for a long time before that. And so maybe that's why you're so eager for something passionate, because you've been kind of what could I say, you weren't allowed to, you're all pent up. That's what I meant. The higher message is the Emperor. If there are two different people involved, this Aries, this is associated with Aries, and I said I associate that card with Aries. That person may be the person who is overall the right one. And definitely if it's an Aries, that is a sign that is compatible with Aquarius, being a fire sign. The water signs are always going to be difficult to navigate, because you're coming from two totally different ways of looking at life. You're looking at it from an intellectual point of view, and they're looking at it from just an emotional point of view, which is not rational. And not one isn't better than the other. Both are needed in our lives. But sometimes there can be a lot of misunderstandings when you combine elements that are so different. And of course, mileage may vary. It depends on the individual. I mean, I wish I didn't even have to say that, but I do, because people write to me and they get mad and say that I'm, broad brushing or something. But I like broad brushing. I think it's kind of fun sometimes. But anyway, the thing about it, it's funny too, because it could also be saying that if you're dealing with another person, that person might be too authoritarian, that they're not tolerant enough, and that it's going to cause problems. So, I kind of take back what I said, because, just because somebody is an Aries or somebody is a fire sign doesn't mean that they're going to be proper for you personally. We're not our astrological signs. That's kind of superficial at the end of the day. We are the sum of our experiences and our consciousness. So the Emperor, to me, I always associated with Capricorn, even though it's supposed to be associated with Aries, but maybe it's a Leo, because Leos tend to be, I think of them as royalty, and that's your opposite sign. What's crossing you is the Ten of Pentacles, so I'm reading it as a reverse sign. The Ten of Pentacles can indicate something to do with inheritances, but this would be like a problem with them, a delay with them, a family business. There is some delay. If, even if you're like, because I think I've been focusing more on the relationship side of things, and which I probably shouldn't do. But it could be like if you have any dealings with members of your family in terms of money, that there could be some, temporary blockage. The Ten of Pentacles can talk about great wealth. So maybe it has nothing to do per se with family, but just any kind of personal wealth. Maybe you're just having a slight hiccup in that area. But I really think that any of these things can just be temporary. They're minor arcana cards, so it's like a snapshot in time. Now, in the case of like a business situation, the Six of Cups can indicate, doing something that you have always wanted to do. And so you may be very excited about doing that sort of thing. But you may require, depending on what it is that you're doing, you may require the guidance of somebody who is really well versed in this area. And so that's what may be the challenge for you. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse might be also that, what I was thinking of, because even with the Six of Cups, we're talking about childhood. It could be that you were counting on getting financial support from your family for some reason, and they're not providing it. Another possibility is that you want to leave a family business. The Six of Cups speaks of childhood issues. So maybe you're in your family's business, but you want to branch out on your own. And so that might be what's causing a conflict. The advice is the Knight of Cups. So this would be for the romantic situation. It's like a water sign person. I said before, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Now, with the Six of Cups, this person might be from your past also. This might have been like a childhood sweetheart or something. Maybe you reunited with somebody. But it's really speaking of that kind of a gentle, artistic energy coming into your life. maybe you're deciding between two people and one of them is a fire sign. And so it's maybe the water sign person is overall more suitable. And the outcome is the Queen of Swords. So if you have to decide, I think you're going to be able to make that decision. In a career setting, the Knight of Cups may mean that somehow an offer is given to you. And it's an offer that stirs your heart, that makes you feel a sense of emotional connection to whatever it is that you're doing. And then in that case, the Queen of Swords is you know, I think elevating yourself to a higher position, whatever it is that you're doing. But I can't help but think that some of you are breaking away from some sort of traditional arrangement. Maybe you were in a business connected with your family, and you're just wanting to branch off on your own. For some people, it could even just be that you were in a job that made a lot of money, and you start out not working, and you get an offer, and it's something that may be a creative type of a position, and you feel much more clear-headed and self-empowered by the end of November, or maybe even this is going to transpire later on, I don't know. But in any case, Aquarius, I hope you have enjoyed this. I do different types of readings, and there's a link below to order a personal reading from my website. Otherwise, have a great rest of November. Take care. Bye.